Hello everyone, I'm the Saxy Gamer, and today we're here for yet another Civilization VI Hero Spotlight, where today we'll be taking a look at the goddess Himiko. So as we always do, let's go ahead and start off with taking a look at the legend of Himiko and kind of the backstory behind her, so that way maybe we can understand a little bit better how she fits into Civ and what gives her, or what makes them give her the abilities that they have given her. So Himiko is a legend that comes from technically Japanese legend, but really it's actually kind of Chinese legend, and she's said to be the ruler of Japan around 200 AD. So kind of the weird thing here is that people aren't exactly sure if she's real or fake, because she shows up in Chinese legend as being someone that has communication and diplomatic relations with the Chinese, as I had mentioned, around 200 AD in the 3rd century, but some later Japanese works and, historical accounts from the 8th century have no mention of her at all, and which is a little bit strange, so nobody quite knows what the deal is with Himiko. Maybe if she actually does exist still in Japanese, history, but was actually having another name or something like that. That is possible, but as a result, there's not really a whole lot that's known about her other than the fact that she was somebody that gave diplomatic gifts to China. So from the Chinese legend, we do know that Himiko was the ruler of Japan, so she was one of the very first female rulers that supposedly came to power by magic and sorcery through bewitching the people that she ruled over. And there's a lot of things that talk about her, having these magical sorcery powers, and in a lot of interpretations and things like that, people say that maybe Himiko may have used these for some more seductive purposes, if you will. So in a lot of depictions for Himiko, maybe I shouldn't say a lot, but in some depictions of Himiko, she is a rather promiscuous sorceress, so perhaps Geralt of Rivia would like to have a word with her. Either way, though, these claims are obviously just kind of random stories, and Himiko's a little bit of a unique one because, as I had mentioned, with some of the other heroes that we've talked about and legends that we've talked about, they have a very clear story, but not quite the case with Himiko. So now let's go ahead and see how this translates into what Himiko does in Civ VI. So Himiko is also a little bit of a unique hero because she actually technically counts as a civilian unit rather than a military one, so you can't use her to attack anything. She can only walk around, and if somebody steps on the tile that she's on, she'll just get sent back to the nearest city, kind of like a great general. I guess she's more akin to a great general than something like a builder or a settler, things that you would typically associate with being civilian units. Himiko ignores all terrain movement penalties, so this means she is generally able to move pretty far in a single turn, so hills aren't going to affect her, rainforests aren't going to affect her, no matter what, she's just going to be cruising around the map. She also has an aura that gives 10 combat strength to all military units within 2 tiles. This is insanely good, so this is pretty much a Great General on steroids, so Great Generals normally would give 5 combat strength to units from specific eras. Himiko just gives 10 combat strength to all military units that are within 2 tiles of her, so a very nice thing to throw her in with a clump of units and just get a ton of extra punching power. Himiko also does have 8 charges to do a number of things, so this is kind of where, the stories of the diplomatic relations come into play, so she's able to target an adjacent city-state and earn a free envoy, and if you're already the suzerain of that city-state, you do gain faith, so it starts at 50 and increases by 25 per era, or you can use those charges to levy the troops of a city-state that you are already the suzerain of, so both of these abilities are going to cost you 1 charge, and this means that you're pretty much guaranteed, at least if you get Himiko early, you're pretty much guaranteed to be able to gain suzerainship of a city-state by using her, because 8 envoys in a city-state obviously is quite a significant number. The ability to levy troops for no gold cost actually can be quite good as well, because then if you consider the fact that she's going to be giving 10 combat strength to them as well, you're going to get a nice strong army pretty much out of nowhere, which is going to be a nice power spike for you. So now let's go ahead and give Himiko her rating. So if you're new to this series, all that you need to know is that this goes on a 1 to 5 scale, with 1 being the worst and 5 being the best. So as far as the cases to use Himiko in, the one that I find myself using her most in is just for giving a huge boost to military units. So as I mentioned, she's pretty much like a great general on steroids, and getting 10 combat strength to all of your units around her is going to be a significant boost, and you can stack it with great generals as well. So 15 combat strength on all of your units ends up being quite a nice boost. And one of the first times I used this, I was playing Babylon and I did the Musketman Rush and had Himiko. Oh my gosh, things just absolutely got destroyed by this. So that extra combat strength is something that is quite substantial, and you should be using that to your advantage if you are going to recruit Himiko. The other thing is that it can give you a nice diplomacy or yield bonus from city-states as well, so being able to get envoys means that you can either put the envoys in to get the suzerain bonus, you can put the envoys in just to get some of the yields on your buildings or things like that, or if you really just want the diplomatic favor from being the suzerainship, you can do it for that too. So Himiko's kind of nice because she can do a lot of things other than just domination, which some of the other heroes can't, so that is one of the other reasons why you should possibly consider getting Himiko. With all this in mind, I do think that she deserves a 4. She is a pretty good hero, and as I mentioned, she's useful for a number of things, which I think, raises her up a little bit more. You can still use her for domination if you want that extra combat strength, or you could use her for a science game, a culture game, religion game, diplomatic game, pretty much anything you want. She's going to be at least somewhat useful for as long as you have city-states around in order to make use of her. So for all of those reasons, I think she is a pretty good hero and one you should consider using, so she deserves a 4. So thank you everyone for watching. I have been the Saxy Gamer. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to like. If not, feel free to dislike. And if you're looking for some more Civilization 6 content, feel free to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.